Everyone, welcome. I'm Alisha Braché here at Cosmic Gateway. I'm super excited for you to join me. This is going to be the November 2023 energy update and intuitive insight guidance and some personal updates around my new website and my training. So welcome. Thank you all for being here. It's a very exciting time right now. I don't even know how I'm going to fit in everything that I want to share into one video, but I'm going to do my best. So please get comfortable. If you want to grab a tea or coffee and sit down or listen to this in increments, I will put timestamps. So here we are, November. And if we didn't think that October wasn't huge, I think November is going to top it. So first of all, when I do these energy updates, I will get an intuitive hit leading into sitting down and recording them. I'll get images, I will get colors, I will get some insights to what the energetic overview of the up and coming few weeks or the next month will be. So this one came through probably 5 days ago, maybe. I'm not sure time. And it was doorways. All I could see was like huge doorways opening. And of course, we're heading into the 11th month, 1111, the awakening code, and those doorways of awakening, remembrance, and really coming into remembering who we are, what we're here to do, and getting on our mission, however that looks. And that's going to be very, very individual for everyone. But there is a momentum that has been building all year. And I just want to acknowledge how much work everybody has done, especially this year and the years that have led into where we are now on a collective level. It's kind of mind-blowing. I'm kind of at awe watching this unfold. As me, like I'm sure many of you, we have seen these times for years. We've got the intuitive hits. It's felt like it was happening imminent, like it was happening now. And then the disappointment of, well, there was this immense buildup, and then what happened? I think there's many reasons for that, and I won't go into it so much. But what I can say about how I feel within the energetic temperature, if you will, is that a lot of those false starts, those detours, those disappointment moments of things not actualizing or coming into fruition, it feels like there has been a lift in the energetics within ourselves and within the collective that is moving into November of these new doorways and passageways opening. Having said that, I know because I feel very privileged because I get to see the individual processes that so many people go through, and I see the common trends and threads that interweave into a collective story. And I know that everyone is at their own pace in that. Everyone is exactly where they need to be. And there's no sort of higher or low, it's just everyone's at a different point in their own personal evolution. Yet, as we're working through all this collectively, and going back to what I was saying, is like the incredible work that we've done all year to get to this momentum point of kind of lifting a lot of these veils, or lifting a lot of these blocks and obstructions, and looking at the, reversing what has been inverted for so long. Now it's about our energy, our body catching up to that process. And what has come through to me for so many years is we go into this preparation for new earth. We go through this huge process of unraveling what is not of us to come back into knowing who we are. And then there's a period of time where we're trying to navigate, how do we walk and talk and function again when we don't have all that restrictive energies and energy cords and programs and blockages. It's trying to navigate whole new terrain, and I feel like that's where a lot of us are on the precipice of working towards or actualizing right now. So it's a very exciting time. If you're new to this material, if you're just coming on, welcome. Thanks for being here. what I recommended in the last energy update of October was to go back if you're trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, some of the things that I'll be talking and sharing about. I feel like there has been a story that has been interwoven in all of my energy updates since probably the middle of last year. If you go back to around October, November, December, and then ongoing through this year, it kind of paints a much broader picture of where I felt things were at, what we were moving through, and then obviously where we're at now. I would also recommend, if you haven't already, to check out Lisa M. Harrison's YouTube. She puts out weekly updates where she talks about some of her insights, and on the live calls, other people share what they're experiencing and witnessing. And there's a lot of correlation to the information that I access and a lot of other incredible souls who are out there doing this epic work. So if you haven't, I would recommend, if you're trying to paint that bigger picture, that might be helpful to you. Because there's just so much. It can't be condensed. I have written some notes because there's a couple of key things that I want to cover. And I'm just trying to bring that all in so that I can try and keep it concise and digestible. There's been tremendous breakthrough moments collectively and individually that I've witnessed and I've gone through myself, especially throughout the eclipse season and throughout the month of October. A lot of these testing phases, these initiations, these extreme energetic thresholds that we come up against is crucial. It's vital, and it really gives us an opportunity to overcome some of our fears, our blockages, our stumbling blocks that may have been threaded throughout our life's history or journey. And when those processes come into play, they are very intense, very, very intense. Sometimes they're intense emotionally, physically, multidimensionally, all of that. And so I just want to bring that up because I think that has been very prevalent and probably still quite prevalent and ongoing for some of you. What I've witnessed is, as we start to move through some of those thresholds, that's where everything starts to open up. So we get to that, what I call the breakdown before the breakthrough moment. And it's like we get very disconnected, we get very tired, lethargic, unable to sort of function. Our physical body feels very tender, very uncomfortable. There's a lot that is happening within the physical body right now as we're clearing space ultimately so that we can embody this higher frequency consciousness. So the blue energy has been very prevalent. I think I spoke about that in July, of this blue frequency that is of changing the structure of the physical body on a cellular level, a DNA level. And it's also the color that represents opening up to miracles and being able to experience that in our everyday life. I've certainly had a taste of that, and I know many others have. And then all of a sudden you'll go through these big phases where that's the most prevalent energy that you're accessing, or the timeline that you're on. And then you may go through a couple of days of recalibration where you disconnect from that frequency. And that's like the upgrading process. You might feel tired, you need to rest, the body aches. And also what I've noticed in those times, and I want to cover this a little bit, is the energetic bleed through. A lot of people now are starting to come into awareness of themselves on a soul level at a very rapid rate. This is incredibly confusing to the human, the human mind. It makes you feel a little crazy. It makes you feel like you've lost it, because we're starting to access other realities, realms, or dimensions, aspects of us that are operating in the multidimensional realm. When we start to come more into that awareness, we can start to have what I call bleed through, energetic bleed through. This can come through in a number of ways. Sometimes when we go into dream space, our consciousness is kind of moved into that space where we will be viewing other realities or viewing through the eyes of what other aspects of us are operating in. And this is all part of our own consciousness that has these sort of energetic threads or fractals into other realities. I've witnessed and noticed a lot of people who haven't been aware of that process starting to get caught up to speed very quickly, which is exciting. This is a process that I have started to come into conscious awareness of many, many years ago, and it started to drop in bit by bit by bit. It wasn't an easy process for me. There were many times that I was going through, and I'm going to speak about this more extensively on an up and coming video where I want to talk more about the different realities where we're operating from, potentially different programs that are part of our consciousness is still operating and accessing. There's many terms for this. The SSP comes into play a little bit here, but it's much more vast than that, as I've learned to uncover in my own experience. And as we come into consciousness or conscious awareness that we are operating not just here in this physical body, but out there, we can start to have energetic bleed through. And this can impact us emotionally, mentally, energetically, and also physically. So our physical body can go through big changes, aches, pains, things like that, that are more so from the other aspect of where our consciousness is operating that is connected to us here. This may be very out there for some people, and for other people, it's going to have some massive aha moments, I hope. That tends, for many years, I get pulled out. And this can happen at nighttime, this can happen during the day. I've come to the realization that my human in this reality doesn't necessarily have a great control over when my consciousness needs to go to work in different places. And it's kind of hard to manage because when that happens, there's an intense fatigue that falls upon you. You feel very, very tired, lifeless. You have very low energy. And you have to just stop whatever you're doing and lay down, is what I've learned, because I tried to push through it many, many times, and it's almost impossible to override. I've come to the conclusion over years that don't fight the process. If you have the opportunity, and I know that's hard because a lot of us have very, very busy lives. We don't have the luxury of just laying down on the couch or going and having a nap. But if we can, sometimes that is the best way that we can recalibrate and reboot, whether it's happening within our energy structure that's recalibrating, whether it's happening in, our consciousness is being called into other realms because there's a more important mission, collective mission generally that's occurring that aspects of us are doing. What happens to the physical vessel here is that we can become really, really hypersensitive. We become our nervous system goes on overdrive. We become very sensitive to light and sound and energy frequency, and we can feel quite agitated, uncomfortable. And that process will continue on for a period of time. It could be an hour, it could be a few hours. But I find that if we can lean into the process and support our physical body as much as possible, do energy processes to help support us and to clear us, we can navigate through and maneuver through that. So things like supporting the nervous system, keeping hydrated, fluids up, intakes of salt, things like that can be really helpful. So the clearing of the physical body to give us a correct pathway into being able to hold frequency is important at this time. So people call it being called to do cleanses and things like that. I always say, listen to what your body is asking. We're so unique and individual. So, just allow that process to be led by your intuition is really important. Okay, so I think I've covered opening doors, accessing sacred codes, stepping into the divine destiny timelines. That's the theme for November. Now, I'm going to break down what I mean by that, or what I believe it understand it to be. Accessing this divine destiny timeline is the term that came to me going back a few weeks or months ago. I believe that this is in full alignment with our soul's path and purpose and what we're here to do. And it takes a lot of work to be able to get to that point and to actualize it. But I feel like we're on the precipice, on the brink now of what many of us have seen and witnessed and felt into for many, many years. And that's going to look different for everyone. You know, for some people, it's like the event, the solar flash, the coming into consciousness, reuniting with a sacred partnership, actualizing your soul purpose and mission. And what I would say as just an overall general statement is that those things were very real, those visions, those intuitive hits, those dreams. And sometimes we've given up along the way because when we look at our external reality, it doesn't match what our higher consciousness or higher self has been trying to guide us through to get to this point. So when we get to that point of opening those doors, we're actually slowly or fast. I mean, the speed and pace is going to be different for everyone, but we're moving into the actualization of this. And it's a very, very exciting time. And so you may not be there right now. You may be going through those tests and challenges and that icky phase. Believe me, we've all been through that time and time again. But that is essentially setting us up for actualizing what we're all here to do. So I have a lot of excitement about where we're at and what's coming, but I also want to honor and acknowledge the deep transmutating that a lot of people are doing, because let's face it, the world stage is in complete chaos right now. And it takes me back to a download that I was given a couple of, I think it was around 2018, and it was around October, if I remember correctly. And I felt this big energy come in of my higher aspect, or one of my aspects. And the message was that now is the time. The ground crew need to be prepared. They need to be ready. It's go time. It's show time. What we've all been working towards mastering, all of our learning lessons, our harsh, dark nights of the soul, our mastering of tools and techniques and modalities, artistic creations, however that applies to you, there is a time coming that we all need to be able to bring that to the world to help shift this greater collective consciousness that's happening on the planet. But there will be a time, a period of time, I was told, and whether this timeline's still active or not, I'm not sure, but it's coming to my mind now, that there will be a period of time that will be tricky navigation for a lot of people who are waking up abruptly, a lot of people who haven't come online. And that's been their soul's choice. But when they do, oof, it's fast. It's hard. It might be challenging. It might be tricky. But it's for those of us who have been delving deep into our own process, into our own self-mastery, to get to the point where we can hold capacity to be able to support those people in, you know, in the ways that we feel called to, without putting ourselves last. It's about putting ourselves first and foremost in our own process. And then as we have the capacity to be able to help and share in whatever way that looks like for you. So sacred relationship, or the restoration of sacred relationships, is a very highlighted theme that I think is going to be very, very pronounced throughout November. It's been building for a couple of months now. If you haven't watched the YouTube video that I put up around the archetypes of sacred divine connections, you might find that video helpful. It was an article I wrote 2.5, 3 years ago, and I was intuitively guided to post that again for those who may help them access pieces of the puzzle. The divine, sacred divine words, okay, the templates of right relationship are being restored as we speak. And this is impacting those who've come here on a twin, sacred partnership mission, an ascension pathway. And this is all about the global ascension process. But many of us, and this doesn't apply to everyone, but many of us who have come in a partnership to bring in frequencies because our greater aspect, our higher selves, our soul aspect, knew that we couldn't do it alone, that it was part of coming here together to work in the energetics, maybe to execute a soul path or purpose, maybe to initiate one another to our own personal ascension and evolution process so that we can access our highest frequency. There's many, many names and terms and labels. But, and for some people's experiences, there can be many different soul connections too. And there's a lot of confusion in that, in the communities. So that's what I've been working on, observing, watching individual people go through huge shifts and changes on that whole relationship piece. And, you know, as I mentioned, the words that came through was, we're now in the phase of the restoration of right relationship, going back to the original template of how relationships were meant to be and have been in higher civilizations. So I know that's a lot. It's a lot. I think I've covered most of it. And yeah, please, it's a very condensed version. So just going into all of what I've shared with you, if you've gone recently to my website, you'll see that there's been a lot of changes. I'm in the process now of actualizing what I've been trying to do for many, many years. So it's a very exciting time for me. But it's been very time consuming in this transition. And some of the changes are, I am currently training 2 training groups. One is elevation training, which commenced 3 weeks ago. We're just over halfway through. There's still 2 modules left, and I'm training that with a live group. What has become available through the website is purchase and access for the replay. So in Elevation 2, if you didn't watch my October update, I was guided by my higher self in a dream message to put together a course, a program that was going to really help the collective move through these very turbulent energetic times. I'm in awe of how that has come together, honestly. Originally, I wasn't sure how it was going to get pulled off, but we're in it and it's coming together. And I am just thankful for everyone who is participating and anyone who feels called to now purchase and access the replay. So just a brief overview. You can go onto my website and read more in depth about what elevation training is. But it's really comprised of my work, everything that I've witnessed and worked with in individual sessions for the last 6 to 7 years, probably more, but more intensely. It was a lot of the pitfalls and where people get stuck in working in their energy field. So I cover, you know, energy awareness, how to clear energy blockages, how to navigate through interference and you know, distortion in the field. I talk about collective processes, individual processes, and how to actualize our soul destiny timeline, our codes, and our accessing our blueprint, our soul blueprint, and what we're here to do. So it's really matching up with the energetics of what's occurring right now. So my human is in awe of how my higher self kind of gave me this and how it's come together in the time frame. Like it's pretty spectacular to watch. And I guess one of the reasons that I want to share that is that we all get access to these intuitive hits and messages. And sometimes they feel absolutely out there crazy, beyond impossible. But with a little bit of faith and a little bit of trust in surrendering into our higher aspect, if we can start to implement those changes, even if they're the small changes, you'll be surprised how much momentum builds behind that. And the pieces of the puzzle start to fall together. Now, having said that, it's not always a streamlined process. You know, there's tests and there's challenges and there's like working and refining as we go along, but we're learning. I'm still learning. And so I guess I just want to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has held space for me while I'm moving through this transition. I'm not going to name you all individually and personally, but if you're watching this, thank you. You know who you are. The tech support, the website support, the editing support, the emotional support, the energetic support, those who've held me through my own personal breakdown to breakthrough moments. It's been a profound time, and it's been sticky, and there's been a lot of letting go in this, letting go of the old passageway, the old way of being. So just on a personal note, it's been a very intensive time for me. It's a time that I've had to stay very focused, and honestly, I couldn't have done it without the support and the well wishes from all of you. So you know who you are. Thank you to everyone, and to the beautiful clients who've had to be patient with me. So I'm currently taking a break from personal sessions as I move through this transition. There is a waiting list. So if you email me, if you want an individual personalized session, I'm taking a waiting list so that when I have a little bit more capacity, I'm just going to send out an email and open up my books again and then resume doing individual sessions. So I just want to thank everyone for their patience and me being maybe a little bit delayed getting back to you. It's been an intense time, and it's been long days, early mornings, late nights, little sleep, and taking multitasking and multidimensional tasking to a whole new level for me. So Elevation 2 is available. All the details will be in the description box below if you feel called to it, and if that is going to support you on your journey. Now, I've tried to make it as affordable as possible so that as many people can gain access to that information. It's very comprehensive. There's about 2 to 3 hour video replays, modules, guided processes of techniques, and workbooks that's all being brought together. And it's quite comprehensive information. It's a lot of information to take in. I feel like I've data dumped, I've consolidated the last 7 years of my work and data dumped it into this course. So it's a lot. But I do feel that everyone is ready to access that. And I really want everyone to have the tools and techniques to be able to move through this transition with the support. So moving on from that, in a week's time, on the 8th of November, I will be starting Elevate 2 training. So Elevate 2 training is the second module of elevation training. And this one is kind of the next level in how to understand your own divine soul connection or connections. It's based off my work of many years of working with counterparts, sacred relationships, and it's painting a broader picture, a much more expanded perspective of these relationships, why they're the purpose of them, the origins of them, how to navigate the energetic connection of them so you can get the best out of them, and basically work with them to actualize what you're both here to do, or however it applies to your dynamic. That is going to be in conjunction where I feel that the right energies are in this, of what is actually happening on a collective level, and watching it unfold in real time is just, I'm kind of in awe. I really am. I've watched and seen this through dreams and visions and messages for years. To actually see it dropping in and taking place in the physical reality is monumental. And that could not have been done without every individual working on their process that is then contributing to the collective as a whole. So eternal gratitude for everyone. And I see you all, the people that I've worked with and the people I've been connected with. I see how much we move through and push through to be able to get to this time. And it's such a group effort. It really is. It's huge. So Elevate 2 will be commenced live. I'll take in an intake of live participants who can join the call, where I, at the end of each call, go through a Q&A and answer questions. All the details will be on the website. So the price for Elevate 2 includes elevation training. That is a prerequisite to be able to work through your own individual process before applying that to a pair or a relationship dynamic. So it's offered as a package, and there's still ongoing training with the live, but it will be offered as a replay that will be accessible once the live is completed within about 1 to 2 days. And I'm trying to speed up that process to get the replay out as quick as possible. So while I'm in the throes of doing that, and obviously going through, you can probably tell, a big process myself, I am stopping personalized sessions, but that will resume. And I just thank everyone for their patience while I go through this transition. I think that's all for the updates. I mean, obviously there is so much more that I can, there's so much more that I could cover off and go through. I feel like I'm missing something. No, it'll come back to me, I'm sure. So I'm going to go into now the intuitive insight guidance for November of 2023. I'm kind of curious to see what's going to come through. Oh, yes, the head pressure. There's a lot of consciousness upgrading and rewriting. Kind of what I was talking about of people coming online very quickly. It's almost like whatever blockages were put in place around their consciousness, it's like that's being disconnected, unplugged, and new accessing new levels of consciousness is coming through quite rapidly. So you might find yourself very heightened, a lot of insights and downloads, or on the opposite, as the correction of these faulty programs, this consciousness, these blockage, you may have a lot of mental looping. So we tend to go from high frequency to recalibration, high frequency to recalibration. And that's kind of this ongoing upgrading process that a lot of us are going through right now. So hold in there. If it's challenging for you, my heart goes out to you. I know that you can pull through. It's written within your soul blueprint. You have access to the personal power, the tools, and just ask. If you're struggling, ask for help, ask for support, and allow that to come through to you. That's the last thing. On the website, the new changes, while I'm going through not being able to take on personalized sessions, there is a resource tab that has access to 5 guided meditations as energetic support that you can access, and articles that I've written for many years that might help you access information. The soul journey that I do approximately once a month, I do plan to do a soul journey. I just haven't been guided as to what date and theme, and I'm sure that will come through in the next week. So keep an eye out for the soul journey. That's where I provide a forum of group and community coming together on a live Zoom call and going through energetic process. So the soul journeys that I've done since November of last year and ongoing are available for annual membership, or subscription, I should say. You can access all of them for one price, one fee, and that's for an entire year to access everything. And they will be available just for the individual purchase. So I think that's everything. That's all the updates. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here as a part of my journey. If you've been here for, along this ride and journey for many years, it's, just thank you to you all. Everyone holds such pivotal pieces of the puzzle, such important information and codes. And as we connect and as we share, we're remembering the bigger picture through each other. And I think in the pipeline, once I'm sort of through this transitional phase, I'm going to be focused more on building community and bringing people together, which has always been my idea from the beginning, is that I see so many people who come to me who are going at this alone, who are isolated, who don't have that person to talk to, that support. And that's been like divinely orchestrated. And we know that, right? We're all situated all over we're scattered all over the world. And eventually we find each other online and it's like, oh my God, they're my people. But to come together, it's been a rarity. Yes, there's conferences and events and things like that. But I think as we move through this 1111 sort of gateways and go through this individualized process, there's going to be more coming together for the greater implementation of being able to work together for a collective cause. So exciting times ahead, not without challenges, but remember, you hold the personal power within you. So let's get going. Okay. I am going to go through the intuitive insight guidance, see what wants to come through. Before we go through that, I just want to do a special shout out to Shannon Pedder, who has created a new oracle deck called Love is Always the Way. And she sent that through. She posted me a new deck. I got to play with a new deck. So I'm going to be using this one here. So thank you, Shannon, for gifting me this beautiful deck that I know that you've poured your heart and soul into. And it's amazing to see that being actualized. So I'll be using that deck and a couple of other of my trusty favorites, which I'll put in the description box below. So if you want to get your own copy of the Oracle cards, Love is Always the Way, there'll be a link in the description box below, and the other Oracle decks I list as what I use. So anyway, that's enough announcements. Let's get going. Let's get going. So, all right, I'm just gonna let's get into artwork A, card A, which is this image here. So if this is the one that you have chosen, let's see what wants to come through. Okay, just going to clear the energy and just kind of tune into this this image of this card. Okay, yeah. You might find that this is what just wants to come through. You might find that your body is going through hypersensitivity, because as soon as I brought through that image, I can feel a lot of discomfort in the back of my head, around the back of my chest area. Feels like there's a lot of mental stimulation going on, a lot of scattered thoughts, a lot of uneasiness, or a lot of need for consideration, making important choices that you know that is going to benefit you in the long run, but hard life decisions potentially. Oh, Okay. A lot of processing of energy that's working through right now. I'm seeing pathways. There's like being given choice of particular timelines. There's two pathways. One comes to a kind of a dead end, and one has a more of an illumination. And I'm reminded of the Celestian prophecy, where, you know, the pathway that is the right one for you, or the guidance from the higher aspect, is like illuminating the correct pathway. And the other one leads to kind of a dead end, to be redirected, rerouted. And it feels like standing at the fork. What's the saying? Fork in the middle of the road. But there's just two. One sort of goes into a standstill, more of a stuck energy. And one is kind of beckoning or calling you into a destiny. A destiny that you may feel is unobtainable at this moment. But this message is to reassure you that it's not unobtainable. It's just the mind that's getting in the way. Oh man, goodness. It's the mind that's getting in the way, and there's this energy that wants to like process or clear from the heart space. So it's like all this mental stimulation that's going on, and I'm being called to come back into my chest, into my heart space, and it's almost like wanting to clear out energy or sadness or guilt or resistance or procrastination or hurt feelings. And it's like, if you're able to be able to clear out from that heart space, whatever is kind of in the head, moving it out through the heart, it's going to give you a more expansive internal navigation, so that you can get access to your own intuition to navigate you through the pathway that is really beckoning and calling you. Yeah, okay. Take time for rest if you can, meditation, rejuvenation. Okay. So the first two cards that have come up as I was shuffling, we've got the Hanged Man and then the Fool. So suspense and waiting. Yeah, in a holding pattern. And then the Fool, obviously spontaneity, taking chances. It's very aligned with what I was saying. Here we go. So the Hanged Man feels to me like there's this timing at play. There's this suspense holding pattern in the waiting room. And that is purposeful, because it's allowing you to go through the energy readjustment that is required for you to be able to almost sidestep into that new pathway. So it's like looking down the barrel of two timelines or two pathways, and making this assessment of like, if I go that way, I know it's not going to take me where I ultimately want to go. But this one is a pathway that I can't see clearly yet, because it feels like until the energetic adjustment and recalibration occurs, it's like you can't fully access the navigation of how to maneuver through that. Or there may be like limitations and blockages and obstacles in your mind that prevent you from seeing that very clearly. But on being able to be, the word tenacious, resilient, allowing yourself to be able to push through those barriers, I guess, is what I'm feeling into, is going to offer a lot of relief, a lot of there's a lot of emotion there, heart healing, relief, because it sets you out on a whole new trajectory, starting a whole new journey. But it's taking that leap of faith, the Fool's journey, not knowing where you're going to land, but knowing that there is a higher divine orchestration that is calling you to a path or a purpose. And it's like, almost, I want to say, you can't say no to that call. It's so strong. It's so persistent. So we've also got, interesting, because I'm just looking at, there's two storylines that are sort of playing out, but they interweave. So we've got the Four of Wands and the Six of Coins or Pentacles. Recharge your hopes and unexpected help. Okay. So I feel like that's in that kind of analytical phase of like plotting, planning, reevaluating, trying to work out what the next move is. And it's, I think, first and foremost, like recharging your hopes, knowing that this time you're not going to fail. This time will lead to success in some capacity. So it could be, work or business or path, mission, relationships. I mean, this could, take it as it fits for you. It's quite general. But to know that this time it's going to work, where maybe the false starts have really left you feeling a bit put off, discouraged. So it's taking the time to restore your hope, recharge your batteries, come back into heart-centered space, and listening to the intuitive guidance. Because I think as you do that, the unexpected help is going to show up. So perhaps the things that you don't have the skills or expertise for, perhaps a person who can just shine a torchlight on some of the limitations or some of the things that you can't necessarily see or have access to. Or it could be a financial windfall, because that's obviously in the card itself, the coins. It may be accessing abundance in an unexpected way that's going to give you the resources to make those changes. Ask. Instead of pondering on how, just ask. Allow it to come to you. So then we have the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups. So there's contemplation and nervous about nervous about change, sorry. So I feel like this is this kind of reflection phase that's occurring, this recalibration, this needing to retreat, needing to rest, needing to go within, get clear within yourself. And this also could be a reflection on a lot of past timelines or past how things have played out, seeing things from a different perspective, healing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of heart healing there, allowing yourself to maybe release some of the stored or trapped emotions that have, I don't know how to say this nicely. I feel a lot of sorrow that may have impacted or ingrained in deeply within your own experience. But know that if you are going through that process of being nervous about change, being asked to step into a space of power, making changes in your life, that process of reflection is always necessary to evaluate previous cycles before you take a chance, a big leap of faith into a new one. There's also this illumination energy that's coming through. I love it, the purple illumination. That speaks to me about highlighting awarenesses and levels of consciousness and perception that you haven't had access to before. The purple is like, it can be associated with the crown chakra of consciousness coming in, higher consciousness, perspective, illuminating thoughts, vision, illuminating your energy field, perhaps. there's a lot that's ruminating. I feel a lot that's ruminating. Divine order. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the divine order card speaks about looking at the world, looking at the global scale, the collective, and maybe it's not that broad. Maybe it's just looking at your own life, and all you see is misery, dissatisfaction, pain, suffering, injustice, and being really pulled into the injustice that's in the world. And let's face it, there's a lot that's going on right now. But it's like being pulled into that, and that's really weighing heavy on your heart, your mind. But the divine order card talks about trying to be able to access the higher perspective. So yes, there's a level of suffering that's happening. As we start to look from more of a bird's eye view, looking down, we can actually see there is a divine order and orchestration that governs all things, that is actually working through. And the purpose in whatever is taking place is actually, what I've been seeing is, it's a part of the reset. It's a part of the restoration. And sometimes to come unstuck, it feels a bit messy and entangled. And we get kind of pulled into heavier energies if we're not aware of where our focus and attention is being brought in the moment. So if you're at that place, perhaps asking to see a high perspective. And that will be, shown to you in many different ways: dreams, visions, downloads, insights, automatic writing. And sometimes just having that higher perspective can shift your energy, give you awareness of why injustices take place. We will never fully know, right? Or maybe we will. But it's about supporting yourself and not being pulled into heavy, dense energy unnecessarily. But I know that there's a lot of people who do a lot of heavy transmutation work. So being aware of that to support your body if there's a lot of dense energy that's trying to expel or alchemize through you very quickly. So we've got the animal kingdom. We've got the bear, we've got the wolf, the deer, the eagle, and the owl, and the moon. A lot of blue in that card. So to me, that like some of the support or remedy would be to get out into nature as best as you can. Work with the animal kingdom, the animal realm, connecting with pets are very, very supportive through energy times, or it might be supporting your pets. Seeking solstice in nature, getting near water, mountains. I know that for me, when I've been unable to make decisions or get clarity, and I kind of sit in that confused energy state, I've always been guided to go to water or to mountains or out into nature and just be really present. And through having presence and awareness and just coming back to stillness in myself, that's generally where the solution will drop in. So maybe if you can get outside or get somewhere that is going to just give you a bit of clarity, clear your energy. Let's get the final card. But keeping in mind, just to recap, going through this process right now might be tricky to navigate, but it's ultimately taking you to your destined soul path and where you're meant to be. We're going to get some Love is Always the Way cards. Okay. Oh, I love these cards. Okay. We've got 3. We've got Evolve Through Love, Embody Love, and Do What You Love. I couldn't find a more perfect way to end this reading. Let's try and get them on camera there. Okay. So, evolution of love. This is a love revolution that you're going through, however that looks for you. It's an evolution. The revolution is over, and we're now stepping into evolution of love, heart space, frequency. So this is a beautiful opportunity for you to embody love in its highest capacity, in its original essence, to your soul's uniqueness. And it's through that expression of doing what you love, whether that's hiking, whether that's writing, whether it's drawing, using your creative skills and abilities, connecting with loved ones, expressing, it could be expressions of love to share with people how much they truly mean to you. I think it's going to be a big month for you. But remember to come back into, this is your own personal evolution of love frequency. You're being asked to embody as much love as you possibly can for yourself, and then being able to transmit that as a frequency out into the world through your creative endeavors or through your expression, however that relates to you. So thank you so much. I hope that has helped. And let's move on and get into B. Have an amazing month, everyone. Oh, sorry. Okay, let's put them back. And let's get into image B. This will be this one here. So if you've chosen this card here, let's go into that. Whew. B. Okay, I'm just going to clear the energy of A, come into the energy of B, of image B. Oof, okay, stomach, solar plexus, masculine center. I can instantly feel it in my body. There's this interesting. I'm just going to tune into what that is. It's almost like I could feel something in the pit of my stomach. I mean, this could translate, you might have digestive issues, it could be a physical thing, but I think ultimately it stems from an energetic expression, which is a soul calling, wanting to reclaim, take back your power, forgotten knowledge, lost, forgotten knowledge, holding sacred, maybe, okay, sacred code of energy that has information that's very important to you. It could be collective as well, but it feels like it's very important to you, and it sits in the stomach area. It's like it's almost like on the precipice of being accessed, because I'm seeing like a spin of energy that's clearing itself. It's refining, unraveling for you to gain access, which gives you a very strong sense of personal will and power, endurance to be able to get through what you need to embody a strength that you have only had small access to throughout your life. But it's like that is what wants to come online, and it feels really strong. Like it's been laid dormant. I actually feel quite nauseous. So it may, in that process of accessing it, there might be like physical clearing, maybe. It could just be energetic, upset tummy. there's important tools in that. There's accessing important abilities that have been dormant that you haven't accessed for a very long time. This feels really important, but uncomfortable. It's kind of a bit of both. So we've got the first card that came out was stress and anxiety, the 9 of Swords. So this is like getting in your own way, an expression of too many thoughts, too much energy in your field, too many disempowering thoughts or other people's projections of their own influence or opinions. So that, I feel like that's the uncomfortable energy that needs to be just like like clear out. So it's come with the 8 of Swords, which is caring for yourself. So it's a time of being able to care for yourself and being able to create clear space and create room, because whatever's happening within you internally is a very important process that needs your attention. It could be confusing. You may need support. Writing will be very helpful. Writing, I often talk about like writing, journaling, automatic writing of just like asking the question, like posing the question, then seeing what, doing that stream of consciousness to see what answers come through, because there's something that wants to drop into you, but right now there's too much static in your field. Could be a lot of messy energy, interference energy, kind of staticky. I see that as like, it's like, but it feels like it's imposing on you, and it's like making you want to retract and like go insular into your shell. So it's taking time to rest and recuperate and become aware of these things so that you can find some peace and solace, quiet. In the quiet of the night is when you're going to find the most peace. It's like when everything kind of, it's like when all the kids go to bed or all the animals are fed, or the intense activity. It's like being really present with yourself in the nighttime, in the stillness, maybe communing with the stars or going outside, putting your feet on the earth. That's what I'm seeing, going outside, dialoguing, connecting with your higher self, even if you can't, knowing that it's there and just asking for support or asking for guidance, because there's something that's trying to come through to you. And because your energy is so busy, it might be that you're going through a busy period of life or work or personal circumstances, but it's like because of all that busyness, that message or information or that process isn't a priority, and it kind of needs to or wants to come to the forefront as a priority, because there is here we've got the Ace of Coins, new career moves. So this feels like a soul purpose calling that wants to be shown, asked of you. It's like a calling. It's time to step up. It's time to remember. It's time to, and it's like really navigating through this period of being able to create that space so you can get that strong insight and connection of the guidance. Interesting combination. So we've got the 6 of Coins again, and then we've got the 10 of Wands. So we have unexpected help, and we have put down your burdens. So I relate that, going straight back into was it the 9 of Swords? Yeah, look at the colors. They're very, very similar. Putting down your burdens. It's like letting go of all the unnecessary stress, worry, concerns, overactive mind. It's like I relate the solar plexus, the stomach area, to our mental body. And when there's an overstimulating or unbalanced energy there and in our field, that can keep us on this looping pattern, right? And so sometimes it is purposeful. So it's like there's no judgment around, we all go through it. But it's like what it's asking you to do is to clear and filter out all the things that aren't necessary so that you can be clear It's like, what about this? What about that? Like, I just feel like I'm on mental overload. And it doesn't feel helpful or productive. It's just this kind of constant battling, internal conflict. And it's like there's opposing energy within you of like one that wants to do amazing things, and then the other one, there's like this internal battle. It's like the old version of you, the new version of you, and like they're kind of at heads, really. Fascinating. But it's like, yeah, I guess the guidance is to be able to find the space and time and make that a priority, so you can try and work with your own processes to clear, so you can start to access what is most important, which is the unexpected help card. Not only is it unexpected help, but it feels like people, places, things, finance, like whatever it is that you need that you can't fully access, and you're like, oh, how am I going to pay the bills, or how am I going to pay the rent, or how am I going to make that trip, how am I going to whatever it is, you get the point, right? It's like, if you can spend the time to clear your space, put down what is internally in conflict, and just ask for the path to be opened, people, places, and things and resources will appear, and be open to it. It may not have gone that way in the past, but it's certainly opening up for you now to access whatever it is that you need, because there is a divine orchestration that wants you to move forward into this passageway, this new career, new beginning. Well, it was the coin, so it's career, it's business, it's being on mission, your calling. There's a lot of key players that I feel like are really stepping up right now to actualize their work, and that's incredibly terrifying. That process in itself of stepping out of the space closet, the spiritual closet, the breaking away of the old templated version of who you were and becoming who you truly are, is, believe me, I've been through many phases of that in my life. And I'm sure a lot of people watching can relate. It's not designed to be an easy path. It's a process of refinement, but it's worth it. And a lot of the things that we worry about in the breaking through that threshold is actually refining us so that we can learn in that and become the best version, most authentic version of ourselves. It kind of breaks through the bullshit, sometimes very brutally. It's not gonna lie, but it's worth it. And that's not a once-off. I talk about it. It's not a once-off, like not like you do it and it's done. It's ongoing evolution, but it's ultimately taking you to where you need to be, because there's a big path being laid out for you, a big mission, a big calling, doing the work that was always intended to be done in this lifetime. And this has been mastered over many lifetimes. Like, this is your craft, this is your skill, this is your source, connecting directly to your source, your personal source, not other people, connecting to you and your higher or highest expression of yourself is what is trying to come through and connect with you. Different terms and labels. I refer to as the higher self, but the oversoul, the big version of you, you get the point, right? Okay. And be gentle with your body through that too. Let's get one more card from here. Oh no, it's not coming. Let's go to the Magdalene Oracle. Okay, cool. Crucifixion, purgatory. Jesus. Yeah. Almost like getting a match and burning the old life down. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Not fun, but worth it in the end. Yeah, going through, facing some of your battles, your demons, your inner conflict, feeling crucified, feeling victimized. But ultimately, as a process of going back to what I was saying, this is pushing you into accessing your true power. And sometimes we have to go through the opposite of what we are to come back to our original state, to know what we don't want, to come back to what we do want. You know, it's that kind of process. Because the real you wants to come through. The real you talks about looking at children, looking at the innocence of children who don't have any inhibitions. They just do, they just create, they're themselves. They have less programming and conditioning, and they just freely express, you know, their authentic version of themselves. And this is the process that's like moving through you right now, is what I feel, that wants to come back to the true nature before the hurt, before the pain, before the betrayal, you know, all that icky stuff. It's like this process is trying to bring you back into your own power, connection to your true authentic self, and to really get clear on what your calling is. So let's get some Love Is Always the Way to finish up. Oh my goodness, same card. So you might want to go back and watch some of the other readings, because there's a threaded interwoven message. Embody love, uplift with love. Oh, these cards just like you can see I'm still new at using them. They need a good shuffling. Not like my trusty old other ones that I use. I've been using them since like 2008, I think, maybe earlier. And they're well worn, well used, well loved. These ones are my newbies, which is great. Yeah, that's the one. Ooh, okay. So embody love, coming back to your resonance of pure love, embodying your frequency of love and finding that within you, not within anyone else, but within you. Then we've got uplift with love. The words that are coming through is being your own cheerleader if you don't have that support around you, or connecting with those. Oh, sorry, that's a bit bright. There we go. Connecting with those who you know will cheer you on, those who will support you and uplift you with love. So it might be that you're that person for others right now, or it could be that you could use a little lift from, you know that person or those people. There's that person or those people that you may not speak to for years, or there might be, you know, times and periods, but you know that they got your back no matter what. So it's being able to connect with them, whether it be physically or energetically. Like if you need that lift, you know, reach out and ask, you know, your higher self, their higher self, you know, to give you that little boost up. Or it could be that you're doing that for others, but doing it for yourself, being your own cheerleader first and foremost. But if you know, we all go through times where we kind of feel like we're in the trenches and we just need that little uplift, you know, that someone, and it could be a stranger too. It could be a random stranger that just says something nice, and it all of a sudden it changes your frequency. So pay attention to the little signs and synchronicities, because there is a lot of magic in the air. So then the final card is love is an infinite source. I love that. Love is infinite. There is no limitations on love and its expression, and it comes in many, many forms. It's eternal, as we are all sparks of infinite creation. So I hope that has served you well. I'm wishing you an incredible, magical November. Where are we? And I hope that message has helped you in some way. All right. So let's move on. Lucky last. We're going to go into artwork 3 or card 3, which is this one here. Oh. So if you've chosen this image here, I feel like a change of pace now. Let's see what artwork C has in store. Just going to clear the energy from the last two. Just connecting into that image now. Okay. Interesting. The first image that I've seen is like a wow, like a fireworks explosion. Like from the heart, it was like a gold explosion. So getting lit, getting turned on, getting internally tuned up, getting a heart activation, a heart expansion, like a feels like there's this very expansive energy that wants to come through, like burst out of you. Because things start to feel in the right side up. So there's a lightness to you, there's a lighthearted, there's a playfulness, there's a almost childlike curiosity to life. I don't know, it feels playful, it feels fun. Okay, nice. We've got 4 of Wands, recharge your hopes, 2 of Wands, own your own power, and 9 of Cups, relationship bliss. Okay, this is a kind of a different tone. So yeah, restoration of hopes, dreams, inspirations, aspirations, reconnecting with, yeah, it's that heart, that explosion, that energy, that powerful energy, stepping into your own power. So it's like powering up. Look at that image, it's very similar to what I saw. Like there's like this powering up, this igniting of really powerful energy, but it's your energy. It's just, it's magnificent. It's like, I don't know. I feel so stupid, but no, it's like there's this expansive energy, and it's making me giddy. It's a real love energy. So we've got the 9 of Cups, so relationship bliss. So this could be like restoring new sense of self-love. It could be igniting in a romantic connection. That's what it feels like. But I mean, that love can, when we feel that love, that can come in different expressions, but it feels like a kindred spirits coming, you know, that real playful energy of like that person who gets you and you get to play, and that excitable energy. It feels nice, actually. Giddy. Yeah, I feel giddy with love. Oh, I tell you, November, going to be some plot twists and turns. As I'm thinking about this, I feel like there's an interwoven, like longer message in all the readings. So if you kind of have the time to go through each one, I think each one tells a part or a phase of maybe what we kind of navigate throughout the note, the theme of November. Giddy with love. Affirmations. Okay, so look at that. There's that frequency that's pulsating out, getting lit, emanating out a huge frequency, getting into your own attunement, your alignment, your connection with your own source, divinity. And it's like that clear channel just has this ability to bring huge frequency just to expand into your reality and create magic, create changes, create like it's like an alchemical frequency. It's a gold frequency. It's very pure. It's very divine. But there's a seriousness to it too. It's like, I think what I want to express is like that doesn't come without the refinement process. Like that doesn't come easy. It's like whatever you're accessing or able to access now has come through, you know, a lot of years of probably hard work and deep challenges and processing. But it's like actualizing that now is like, wow, it's almost like you're mind blown of like the power and the potential and what you're capable of doing. So we've got the manifestation, the wizard. Yeah, cool. Look, the gold energy. Being able to be the wizard, the creator, the conscious creator of your own reality, and remembering the power that you have to create feels like, wow. So yeah, it's like, whoa, whoa. And we all have that capacity, right? It's when that comes online, it's like, to our human level of consciousness, it's kind of like a mind-blowing. All right. Let's see. Sacred wisdom, boundaries, and change. So we've got the sacred wisdom card, weaving the tapestry of your own access of sacred wisdom, knowledge, information, accessing your blueprint, your soul's blueprint. And in that process, like boundaries, setting up boundaries if you need to, energetically or physically in your life, to allow you to overcome the obstacles and climb over the wall into the greener pastures or into that beautiful floating castle in the sky. But it's like walking away from things that don't serve you and being able to climb and elevate to greater heights, and to be able to move beyond a common bound. That was a phrase that was given to me when I was 17, when I first started psychic development circle, and I was in the middle of doing a process of connecting with beings, and all of a sudden I felt, and I'm sharing this because I know that a lot of people have gone through similar, I felt wings coming out of my back, and just like this expansive, and it was like the most unreal feeling of like growing wings, like obviously not physically, but it felt like. And the words that came to me, or what I heard in that moment, was, we're now giving you your wings back, or we're now giving you your wings that will allow you to fly and soar above a common bound. So being able to raise above, to elevate, to overcome challenges and just soar, in how we're originally intended to do, designed to do. So then there's the walk of, I was almost going to say the walk of shame. No, the, the walk of change, walking through the change of the seasons, the tides turning, walking on maybe a solo path for a little bit to reevaluate what's important to you, going on a journey, maybe traveling. It's a soul quest, a soul journey, a quest. Could be in your own state of consciousness, or it could be actually traveling. But there is the tides of change. The tides of change are finally here, is what wants to come through with that. All right, let's get some Magdalene cards. Magdalene, Mary Magdalene. This could be about connecting with esoteric knowledge around the Essenes, early Christianity before it was corrupted, the sacred path of the Magdalene code, accessing your divine feminine nature, the sacred wisdom that comes through with that. Just be connecting with your own feminine energy and the power of the manifestation that comes through, connecting with that very powerful, potent essence. Oh, God. Accessing your own creational God code. I don't actually like to use the word God, but source, creation. Realizing that that divine spark resides within you and actualizing that. It's more gold energy in that card. Look at that. Accessing that code. I tell you, oh, there's power in that. Real power in that. Yeah. Reclaiming your power. As it was always designed to be. So we've got passionate love and practice love. Okay. I could interpret this in a few different ways, but I'll show you the cards here. We've got the guitar and the flame. Hang on. Practice love and passionate love. Fiery passion love. It could be reigniting with an old flame or re-sparking an existing flame. And then the practice love is like a refining and practicing. So there's different ways that I can interpret this because it's going to have different meanings for many people. But practice love, I also see as like a testing relationship where we go through practicing so we can become the most refined version of ourselves for another relationship that we'll step into later on. Burning desire and passion can be the imprint of the magnetic draw that we go into that relationship with, and then it kind of dies out. And sometimes as we come into the realization, that was like a preparing us for the next. Or it can be going through just one relationship and going through those stages, intense fiery passion, and then the practice and the testing phase and working out, the balancing act of coming together harmoniously and consciously. But it feels like for this month, there is a rekindling of love, passionate love, romantic love, connection, kinship, playfulness, like lightheartedness, joy, fun, passion, reigniting each other's passion for life. It feels good, actually. It feels really good. Let's get one more card just to close up. Transform with love. How perfect. There's a transformation. There's what was it? A revolution, an evolution. Is it being transformed with love and the butterfly? So coming back into wholeness, unity, and one within yourself and within a partnership, if that applies to you. So I hope that has helped you in some way. I hope that it's given some insight, some confirmation of potentially what you already feel. I'm wishing you an incredible journey for November. I think that it has a lot in store for all of us, and it's really preparing us to expand into our greatest version of ourselves and to take flight. So thank you so much. If you haven't seen the updates about my personal sessions, the courses, and all the changes on the website, go back to the video or the timestamps where I go through that in great depth. And I look forward to connecting with you all on the next video. Thank you, everyone, and much love to you all. Bye-bye.